Hey guys, Jeremy here with Simple Life and welcome to another edition of Tool Time Tuesday. This week's going to be a little bit different. This has nothing to do with knife making. But I thought about this tool because a couple weeks ago one of my neighbors had come over and they were trying to get the hydraulic cylinder off of their front end loader, and they're like, hey, do you have a socket this size? And I didn't. I didn't. I mean, I didn't even have a wrench that size. It was big. And I thought, you know what's a really cool tool that I can grab that's going to be big enough to get the job done, but it's not going to be too huge and bulky. The E-110. Now, what is this thing? I mean, it's a really weird looking thing. A lot of people might be like, is it some type of a pipe wrench? I mean, that looks like a pipe wrench. It's actually called a union wrench, and to be honest with you, I might be entirely wrong about this because I've never talked to a pipe fitter who would properly know what this is, and I've never used it on pipe. If I'm wrong, please do correct me in the comments, but here's my take on this. So this is a union wrench, and you know when you got the pipe fitters use those big runs of black pipe and they got those unions, they're not like a pipe thread, like a tapered thread, but rather kind of like that, and it's coupled on. Anyways, if you know, you kind of know. I do believe that that's what this was designed for. And Ridgid makes a couple of bigger ones. I think this is their smallest size. But if I do remember correctly, if I understand correctly, it's called a union wrench. I first got this tool back when I was just getting into working in oil field equipment. Now, I'm a millwright by trade, which is a heavy-duty mechanic that works on stationary equipment. And for most of my working career as a millwright, I worked on airport baggage conveyors, it's really light duty. I mean, you know, a half-inch bolt was considered a fairly large fastener. We might get up into 3/4-inch bolts. The tools we had, if you had a wrench set up to 1.125" and under, you were good to go. But when you get back into oil field equipment, I mean, some of the equipment that I worked on, towards the end, I was working on frac units, and those things had engines that were bigger than my minivan. That's me in a frac unit right there. Now, when I just started, I lucked out and I ended up working for a fantastic guy, my first boss in the oil field, the oil service equipment industry. And he was one of those guys that, you know, you look back and you're like, I'm so lucky that I got him for a boss, because he really kind of took all of his men under his wing. He did everything he could to make his guys successful. And I'm very grateful to him. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. And so anyways, I think it was my second day on the job. I was like, you know what, my tools are inadequate. If I'm going to start spending some money on tools, what would you recommend I get? Where should I start in acquiring tools to do this job better? And he didn't mind us borrowing his tools. He had 2 massive roll cabinets, but he said, I've got the perfect tool, and this is the first place you should start. And that was the E-110. Because I think I paid $60 for this, which you might think is expensive. It's really not when you compare to even just buying a crescent wrench. Sorry, not a crescent wrench. People will break your butt if you call it a crescent wrench. It's an adjustable wrench. A crescent wrench is a brand. Let me show you something. Okay, check out this adjustable wrench. It's not a crescent wrench. This is a Blue Point, but this is my 30-inch adjustable wrench. Look at that. Thing's as big as my face. Doesn't that just make you happy? Oh, let's tighten something. I'll show you some of my other adjustable wrenches at the end of the video. But before I had purchased this, I had this. And to tell you the truth, this does an amazing job. So I would recommend this tool if you have, you know, for most homeowners, you're not going to need this, although it is very handy on doing some small plumbing, like, you know, those little flanges in the bottom of your sinks. These work awesome for that. But typically what this is great for is if you need to bridge a gap somewhere. Say if you've got like a small tractor, even think about your trailer hitches, right, for your vehicles for towing. A lot of people don't have adjustable wrenches that size to get a nut on the bottom. This does that really, really well. And I'll show you one thing. You didn't see this here. I do believe if you do this at a workplace in Canada, it's illegal. I used to be on a safety committee, so look at that. Now I've got some serious leverage. Like, there's a lot of mechanical advantage going on right here, and you can get a lot of torque on a fastener of a decent size with this small setup right here. So I think this was like $60. You don't want to know how much this wrench cost. I think I got a promo. I think right when they introduced these, I got it. It was like a smoking deal for $230 for this. I haven't used it in like 4 years, but look at it. Holy moly. I like that wrench. You know what? This is just as wonderful. In fact, this is a far superior purchase, in my opinion, to this, because, like I say, if you've got, say, a small tractor or something, and there's some fittings on it or something, or you don't have something that goes much bigger than this, this will get you into some pretty decent sized fasteners. We're at about 2 3/4 of an inch between the two faces of the jaws there. So really, this is a cool tool. This is a great tool, and you know, I showed my neighbor this tool, and I think he actually went and bought one because he's like, "That's brilliant! Like, why don't I have that yet?" So I guess that's really kind of where this version, this episode of Tool Time Tuesday came from. Maybe it's because I got it when I just started in the oil industry, and I've used it the entire time I worked in it. But then again, it's just that it's small, it's light. I can take this out into the field, take a hydraulic cylinder off a tractor, and literally this is what I'm carrying out there with me. Not this. And even so, you look at the size of this thing, there's so many places that you will not fit this, where this will have a much better chance of getting into that little nook or cranny to access that fastener. So the E-110 by Ridgid, fantastic little tool. Just want to share it with you in case you hadn't seen it there, and absolutely love it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers. Yes. All right, and then these are my others. So I've got 24-inch blue point, 18-inch, 16-inch, this little 10-inch, and these are some custom things that I made. Again, that is not a snipe, but oh, that thing's heavy. Barely fits in my drawer. There, my adjustable wrench drawer, E-110.